out with no shoes through the desert for someone you love? Have you done that already, relatively? Well, you've disproven your divinity right there. Whether it worked out or not, you made the effort. Pat yourself on the back. Don't give yourself a heart attack. Give yourself the loving respect that you deserve. You worked hard for it, whatever way you approached it, babies. You did the best you could with what you got to operate on in the moment you got to operate with it. And babies, you done just all right. I mean, Mother Love's come to us in recent times and said, babies, you have never let me down, not once. Now what's she telling you there? See beyond your failures then, see? And failure often is the greatest of success because it makes you live from the heart one way or the other. You finally figure out, you get knocked on your ass often enough, that there's no other way. So you get busted down to basics so you can feel it and find it and be real about it. And sheezo, things change fast. You move from the cardboard box to the mansion across the river real fast. You know, you just take up and fly. And you harborate with the angels. But you go back to the cardboard box every now and then because it's so damn comfortable and so real. It's not something you really want to leave behind. It's a valuable experience. It just makes you ooze at the pores with gooey love and radiant light and rainbow energy that just gets it right. You see, you appreciate every moment, but especially the downer ones. You know, up until now, you may not have even had an idea or a conception of how valuable the downer moments are to you and why we choose to live through so many of them. God, there's great gain there. If you could just get through it and tolerate it and manage it for a while, you know, because that's what you have to do because you're out of control. You're out of the flow, or so it seems, don't you know? That's just taking the reality, taking it tumble, so you'll learn what a rumble it really is and get with the rhythm and flow of it. To find the ripeness and the richness in the lowest of places. And you don't have any problem with anywhere else, do you, man? When you've got down past the shit and the grit, and you've got to the reality of it, the low points of life, you understand Mother Love. And why you let yourself go there. And held an anchor for humanity as a result. Because not everybody could do this, and you knew this, so you did that. That was your spiritual volunteerism in motion, baby. We are so empathetic, empathic. We feel one another's feelings. We know what kind of medicine we need right now. And I sense another smooch is in appropriation of the moment of this time right now. A gentle one, a soft one, heart to heart. Felt right down to our little toes and up over the rainbows that surround us, man. See, in such simple, sweet ways, we verify the unity of our ever-loving heart and give life to our living work of art, the mother love that we live in, the end of all strife, the removal of the knife from the broken heart. It'll never be there again, see? Not ever. It was a nightmarish dream. But the sparkling, speckling light of awakening is making us aware. It isn't there. It never was. It's just a dream, children. You can let it go now. How? By waking up and realizing your own true heart has always been loving, will always be loving, and that's the only direction and flow it knows.
I came upon a child of God. He was
We've been living it in the dark for a hell of a long time now, ain't we, babies? Yes, indeedy. Back there where, you know, we didn't know our head from a hole in the ground, but the hole in the ground looked pretty appealing, didn't it? Yeah. Magnetic gravity says, "Ooh, you're going to die. You're coming back to me, back to this earth. I'll give you rebirth once again." She's done it many times before. But this is the lifetime we were born knowing, where we get to even the score, where we don't have to check out anymore, but check in forever. And even the score forever too, babies. That's what we do each and every day in that Coyote way. Where else but the Coyote Medicine Show with Grandpa Coyote, a whole raft of angels such as yourself, gathered in all across this earth. Here on this hazy radio network, you want to get it clear, you tune in here, dear. And babies, we'll help you get it clear. Even if it's in kind of a foxy, wolfy, coyote sort of way. We're all canines coming out to play. And you know what that is? The canine heart is ever loving right from the start. If it loves you, it's with you, and it's going to be you forevermore. Because that's the canine way, see? The canines have all come out to play now. In other words, we got the happy mischief going on. Because, yeah, we're dog-like in our nature, which means happy, carefree, but not above sniffing a butt every now and then. Or token one, you see. Ooh, yeah. You gotta play the mystery of both ways, don't you know? And then see the centering energy, because you played both sides. Now you got the ride right down the middle, babies. Ooh, and now you got something here you can enjoy. You're just a little love toy, and now you know it. Now you can enjoy it. Now you can flow with it, baby, and just be it. Now that doesn't mean you're going to go out there and get all wanton and rapacious and, you know, wow. Well, who knows what might really happen, but, you know, in the normal course of things, you just become a loving human being and flow through life a lot more naturally than you ever did before. And then comes the day we get it underway. You get up early, cussing the old man, 'cause he's on so early in the day, but, you know, you like to sleep till noon and party all night. Baby, there's nothing wrong with that, and you can party right into the Coyote Medicine Show and keep it going into the daylight if you want to, but here you are, waking up early, cussing the old man, but you can't miss it, you gotta be it. 'Cause it's love in motion, you know, in a rock and roll sort of way. It's a reality such as you ain't never seen, felt, nor heard of before, yet you had a glimmer of it all your life. You had that treasure in your heart. You just had to find the key to open up the heart in your chest so you could give it your best. And that's what's happening now, see. As you become conscious in your heart energy, it does indeed expand clear through both sides of your chest, and you're unified in the center energy of it, right down through your root chakra, right down through your feet, into the earth, back through the ocean, into the atmosphere. Come back to you, raining down love, pure and simple, on your beautiful little hide in the bright sunlight. As you take this ride, we call the Coyote Medicine Show of life, don't you know? 'Cause that's exactly what it be. It's a dancing, unraveling mystery, a pulsing, radiant, loving wave. It just goes on forever, just keeps expanding and growing. It's without beginning and without end, really. But this is where we begin as we realize our place in the more refined flow of nature and let go of all these self-tormenting, self-pitying thoughts that say, oh, we're so bad, or we're so good, or we're so this, we're so that. You know, we're always self-critical in some way. That's programming, baby. You know, look at the educational system. Oh, my goodness. We don't even want to go there and talk about it, do we? But we all know what happens there and what's happened to us. And so we spend a long time, you know, starting to outlive this stuff, you know. Speaking of which, I'm going back to my 50th class reunion again soon. 50th, 5-0, man, you know. And see what the rest of them, how they survived it, you know, or those that did. Man, I think half of my graduating class was dead before I was 22. I mean, shoot. You know, it was a tough life, man. There was a lot of casualties in it. Elegant souls, though, all over the place, you know. Given in kind of a comedic sort of way in the pretext of Utah back in the day. Like, I grew up as a little kid in the 50s, born in the late 40s, you know. And so I grew up in, God, this square-headed Nazi mentality that was so contrary to my free-spirited energy. But, you know, I had to learn a way. Ooh, babies, it was rough. But, you know, I look at it now and I bless every moment of it. What a beautiful thing to go through all that I've been through and be able to not only come through it, but alive, and survive, but, thrive because of it, And this is the blessings I share with you here day after day in that Coyote way. Is the reality of a truthful existence that truthfully does have some contentment in its heart. No matter what else is going on, it's okay with what's been. And it's starting to understand it in a different way, too, man. Holy guacamole. What we wrote about in the Atomic Bomb as Mr. Coyote Bear, my pseudonym, my alter ego kind of thing. Sitting there and listening to this old hobo heart tell its tale, man, and unravel the history of humanity, the mystical history of humanity in the process. And it goes through that old Utah Zoo of back in 1952. We didn't know what to do. It was a mess, to say the best. I mean, wow. But we got through, babies. We got to it. We got free of it. We got to a place where, the universe could care for us in a more natural way. And we started to expand and grow. Through the living process of death, we came back to life again and again. Over the years, man, it's been quite the journey, you see. So that's the energy I share as I travel forward to different places like that. Or anywhere I go, man, it's there. It's just, flowing through me, whatever attitude I happen to be in at the moment. Usually it's gratitude. Once in a while it's a little ingracious, but hey, we're all auspicious, man. We can see beyond the veneer of our dramatic reality, can't we? Somebody is there trying to help you get it clear, dear. Don't argue with it. Just go with it. Flow with it. Be it. Understand the sincere love behind everything. Even if somebody's cussing you for being so damn stupid as to do this or do that or do the other or whatever, see the loving force behind it. That which is really out of patience with itself, because it can't get it any better than you can. But boy, you're sure a weak example, man. You see how we project ourselves outwardly? Well, that's natural. That's nature. It's just been warped a wee bit through the lens of life that's been placed around us. We weren't able to see the full reality, just a bit of it, a speck of it. Dust in the wind and then some, but that was enough. Because the wind was the wind of the spirit heart. And the speck of dust was the very center of the universal light from which all life arises. Expressed again in that sweet way through a mother and father of the day. All through, babies, the mother and father in me and in you. But the mother is the one that brings it forward. The father only encourages it. And blesses it, of course, because the father's in the mother's in the father, and they are one. Bright, shining blue star sun these days, that's what we're becoming. Here in this planetary reality, be prepared for some real surprises as you rise up into the atmosphere. Start to get it clear, dear. The earth and sun, they really are one. The illusion is the division between them. There is no dividing the earth from her sun, the sun from her earth. The sun is the one, the warmth from which we all have begun. Mother Earth too, baby, she's seeing us through the light of the sun that burns inside of her as well as outside her in this 3D. And now we resolve that divine mystery inside as you feel in your chest, your beautiful breast, the life of your heart coming back into being. You become a radiant love machine. You see yourself that way, even though you've always been. It's been restricted and warped by the lens, but see, we learned how to take those old spectacles off, how to see through them, how to lighten up, brighten up, see. So it's a different day in a different way. And we can bless everywhere we've been and everywhere we're going because we can see it now in a more natural way. The gathering of the hearts from across the universe, wouldn't you say, happening here right now today in this moment of, and how? Yeah. Because we want it that way. We're lonesome, man. We're lovesick. We had enough of this shit. We don't want to be heartbroken, and we never have been, really. It's like our mother reminds us every now and then, children, you've never let me down, not once. So if you can let that revolve around your little head and settle in your heart and blossom out, you'll understand where you've been is where you're going. You see, you bless that, you get this. This moment of time where you live in the sublime, it just flows into creation around you, and it's perfect too, and beautifully so. And you're just bare in it, I mean, right down to the hide and beneath the hide, from right inside, the radiant love of glowing creation flowing through this human carcass. As we start to realize the angelic nature of our true presence here. Through the rock and roll tune ours that makes your heart large here, man. As well as the wisdom and energy and radiance of your own Coyote love coming back to you, babies, from high above in the Rocky Mountain sky. 9,000 feet altitude. Hey, we just take off and fly right here, baby. It's time to get up there in the atmosphere and be the one loving heart that we are, to recognize our connection, which is the replication of the heart in each one of us. To know the living truth of that love and be all right in all of that. Despite whatever else has been going on, gonna go on, whatever, baby. The resolution's here. The wave that cascades across the ocean and washes across the lands and skies is one of purification. It's a very easy, soft wave, though it's as huge as the mountains, and it'll wash right over them. Because it's doing so now. And in its aftermath, yeah, the whole old world is topsy-turvy and gone away. And there's a new clear view here to stay. That's the nuclear explosion of love happening right now there where you are, here where I are, because it's the same place. It's not just Crestonia, man. It's across the human race. All of us. Now that unites us with those beyond us, too, that live around other stars and so forth. Human nature and human beings spread across the vast nature of this universe. And we're the settling energy in it, see? Because as we settle into our reality, the universe does so too. And the conflicted energies that seem to be here are no more. And they never were. We saw past the illusion by living in the reality of this moment in time. And realizing what? The rise of the divine. I should say, oh man, Kenny, help us keep it underway, will you, man? You are such a dude. And you got the life, man, and the heart to sing it. So hey, let's show it here once again. In that clear sort of way, the Coyote way. The joke's on us. Then we're laughing within it and dancing and singing because of it. Party's on at our place here on a thrilling Thursday inside the heart of humanity, man. You got the old man of great sanity. Yes, indeed. The great heart of all, exhibited here so everyone else can get it clear. But that great heart's in you and me, the angels, the stars, and all that you see, and all that will ever be, and all that has ever been. It's right here, right now. Live in and loving it too, babies. Ooh, wow. Okay, now we can turn Kenny loose just for a minute. You know, forgive me, I know. But he's got something to say too, babies. In a very, very non-commercial sort of way. Coming from way back in the day. Kenny Rogers. With a little reminiscing for us, baby.
I can't remember when you weren't there.
We take every moment, every thought we think, every action we participate in. And all the drama too. Just blessed beyond belief. And therefore don't believe it, just be it. Just be in that space where there's nothing but that pure, sweet, and I might add, soft-hearted love, baby. Love given from the one heart that would create, that felt alone at some point, baby. So we took that aloneness and became the oneness within that aloneness, which was the funness that got us out of that aloneness and gathered together with all of our creation, don't you see? And that person of one is in everyone, dissolved into its own creation and living in every personal being that is. And all that lives with her too, man. All that surrounds her. The flowers, the birds, the bees, everything. The love, the sun, the trees, the blossoming life, everywhere you be. The most desolate and harsh of desert. There'll be little scraggly plants come up once every 20 years and make their presence known, etc. Life is everywhere, living, even in the organic sands of the high, dry desert, man. Ooh, yeah, and there's a history in that sand. Usually it means there once was a richness upon this land that somebody didn't think was so awful grand. So they took it away from themselves and left all this sand in the aftermath. See, there's some living presence of our true history as humanity, babies. There's been some real disasters here. You won't ever see the deserts, the sandy deserts, in the way you have before. Pay attention to what goes on around you, and guess what? Life has just found you. And your true history will astound you, because it's written everywhere. And you don't need an archaeologist or a geologist or a neocromancer of any sort to figure it out. You know, not a psychic, not a remote viewer, not a disremoted viewer. Not even a viewer, because the view's inside. In this sweet, soft love that understands. And can't be lied to, it only knows truth. It understands. And in that understanding, it goes forward with the full presence of its heart and everything that it does and everything that it will do. No matter how cantankerous that might seem at times, let alone that which is always in the flow, don't you know? It's the human version of it. The universe personified in her children all across every person of the billions that live here and of the uncountable numbers, the gazillions and way beyond that, out there across the vast nature of this universe. Our family tree is wide and spread far. And we're just starting to realize that. The more we love it, the more we see of it. The more we be it, the more we set ourselves free to be. Alive with our family, our one love, our real life, our truth. That portion of the divine body of creation that we comprise. Feeling that full presence of that divine body of creation as a person, too, goes both ways. Sweet medicine in the morning, a flow that gets you in the glow when you understand, when you see it in this deep divine mother's way. This is where these deep feelings are leading all of us to a pure reconnection with that which we always thought we lacked. Reconnection with that mother heart. We've gone so far as to deny her presence and give it all over to the man and say, okay, you run with it. Right. We see where that's taken us every time. Only in the divine presence of true love can life thrive. And it has to know that that's what it lives in order to do that. And it usually goes through some dark times, sprouting seasons and so forth, in order to realize that. There's nothing like having it difficult to make taking it easy quite appealing now, is it? See, it comes down to that simple stuff again. The sweet love, the sweet moments that we share with one another, whether it's sitting down having a cup of coffee and just talking about life for a minute, sharing a recognizing glance with somebody and honoring their presence in your heart as you walk by, barely knowing them in this life or not at all. Yet now you know them, and they know you too, baby. It's an acknowledgement. Makes your little angel wings rustle a little bit, don't you? Realize you got tribe everywhere you go. There's a kinship that goes beyond friendship, beyond any of the restrictive elements of this reality. It goes to the full presence of the heart. There's a recognition. You'll see it ever more clear as you rise up, dear, and you'll start to remember those strange chance encounters you've had. Ooh, they really, now as you look back, they weren't so bad. They were wonderful, man. And you always felt denied because you were lonely, because they didn't stay and they didn't go and they whatever, you know. However it manifests itself. Doesn't mean it had to fit the presence right there in the moment. It had its function. And there was that shared moment of divine, sweet, pure recognition and all the eternal respect that goes with that. These are the elements of life that have kept us alive and going, no matter how dark or bright, how difficult or how easy it's been. We just been going with that soft, steady spirit wind, created of the mother-loving heart. And see, I often describe it as orgasmic, and it is, but not in the sense that we know it. It's far more expansive than that. It comes from the contentment of the buffalo heart to be alive on the prairies, and loving it, along with the millions and millions of him and hers that live there with them. Just loving it. Loving the taste of the prairie grass, the feeling of the wind, the fresh air in your nostrils, the freedom of being gathered with a huge tribe and moving in unison with everyone. Let alone those that are close around you in that tribe and always run with you. Whether you see it that way or not, sometimes the dust around you will blind you, but as the haze clears, you get it clear, dear. Right, see? The tribe slows down a bit, which is what we're doing now. The grand stampede towards hell and gone realized it was headed for paradise. It was on the highway all the time. So now it's slowing down, just trotting around. Doesn't need to make a big old dust cloud anymore. It's under enough in them pounding hooves of 10 billion divine human souls walking up to the completion, the finish line, which is the beginning of our life in the presence of the divine. As it shall be forevermore. Step forward in yourself even this score, and you will not be present in the hostility anymore, not any of it. The frustration dissolves away when you see the equity, when you have the understanding love. To be okay with all of that is to be okay with creation. That's divine worship. That's gratitude. That's the ecstatic orgasm based in the contented love of a cow chewing its cud. Soft, easy, sweet, content. The restless soul is no more, though it'll always be expansive, don't you know? 'Cause in the dreams it dreams in that contented cud, chewing. It's got a whole new dream and vision of brewing. And that's what's coming together, too, here in this thrilling Thursday, in this hour of power, this moment of time is so divine. You got it back together, babe, as you're starting to see. It's starting to unwind. The larger dream is real. And this one, just a little part of it. A specter. But God, what a beautiful experience we've had with it. So don't feel bad as you have to release, let it go. What comes with that turf is so expansive, you just want to run, not walk. And be there in it, all the time, shining like the sun. And watch as that changes the whole thing for you and everyone. The days of teasing ourselves with it are done, over with. It's full-on presence now, man. Awareness, awakening. As if we've been asleep inside of our own creation. Kind of like the child dreaming inside of the womb. That's another aspect, another way of saying it. And we never lose that womb-like nature either. That's where the good dreams begin. And the creation can surround that dream with a full presence to facilitate it. And create it in a physicality where it can be felt and rooted in the depth of that organic feeling, made of the rainbow energy of love, which is the color of life, emotion, the human emotion, given of a heart of a steady old buffalo, don't you know? Here on the Hazy Radio Network with Grandpa Coyote and the Coyote Medicine Show, and a whole bunch of tribal beings trotting along with us, wouldn't you say? Man, it feels like flying today. Babies, aren't you glad you came out to play? Wake 'em up. Here we go. Got more medicine to go here on the Coyote Medicine Show. More of the heart to share with you, don't you know? As we stay in the flow of a steady love that can't be altered but can only be expanded and enhanced by the experience in this creation.
I came upon